I'm Chris.
And I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Fergal.
And we're from Movie Smash.
Comic book movies are having a golden age right now with the MCU.
Movies based on comics aren't necessarily a new thing, but they're a big thing.
Join us every other Tuesday on Movie Smash.
We explore these movies and find some hidden gems.
Every other week, we revisit some of the best.
And some of the worst movies based on comics or graphic novels.
Was Green Lantern as bad as you remember?
Heck no!
Is Time Cop the most accurate time travel movie ever created?
Absolutely.
Was Mystery Men way ahead of its time?
Should they be revisited? Should they be forgotten?
Join us on Movie Smash and find out. Listen wherever you find your fine podcasts.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of All2Real 2. My name is Michael E. Cullen II, and with me, as always, is...
Sesame.
That's it?
Sesame, Flamingo, and Carta.
Flamingo.
Mm-hmm.
So, you're a flamingo?
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Are you pink?
Yes.
Like the singer Pink?
No, not her.
Oh, okay.
I like her, though.
Yeah. She is a singer.
Mm-hmm.
She has a voice.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it does.
Yes. So today on the show, we're venturing into a new series of scary films that we're going to call All2-SCARY. This film is kind of a gothic horror film that we're covering. It was originally released in 2011 as under the title Twixt, but it was also released re-edited in 2022 under the title Betwixt Now and Sunrise. Yes. The film was written and directed by Francis Ford Coppola. If you don't know who he is, you don't know about film. You know, the director of Apocalypse Now, the Godfather trilogy, Bram Stoker's Dracula, and, you know, and then some bad movies too. But yes. Like Jack, starring Robin Williams.
What, he did that?
Yes.
Oh my god!
It's hard to think that like his like output is so scattered. It's weird.
Wow.
Yeah, Jack, starring Robin Williams, was directed by Francis Ford Coppola.
Like, I mean, I used to like that movie when I was like 10, and then later on, I watched it again, and like, I don't like this movie at all. Yeah, it's like if you his output, it's like he's got, you know, recently he most recent thing he directed was Megalopolis, which I didn't see, but he directed, you know, like The Rainmaker, which, you know, was decent, but you got like Bram Stoker's Dracula, and that you got Tucker, the Man in His Dreams, which is actually an underrated Coppola film. I recommend checking that out. Young Jeff Bridges as the car manufacturer Tucker. It's a good movie. Yeah, but he felt like Peggy Sue Got Married, Captain EO at Epcot Center, or whatever that, or wherever it was, not Epcot. I mean, at Hollywood Studios in Florida or whatever. Yeah, so it's. He also directed Finian's Rainbow way back when. Yeah, so he's got a weird output. Yeah, Finian's Rainbow is it's a movie I really want to cover sometime. I just got to find a copy of it somewhere. That's just so bizarre. I can't get that out of my mind, of the Godfather trilogy and then Jack with Robin Williams.
He's also directed. I mean, he also directed The Conversation, starring Gene Hackman, which is like amazing film.
Okay,
so yeah, you know, it's like he's one of the greatest film directors of all time. He's also one of the weirdest film directors of all time. Mm-hmm. And so this is one of his like kind of more out there films. The log line of this is, at least for, because like I don't know what the difference between Twixt and Betwixt are, you know. So and now I want a Twix bar. I think me too. Really chocolate caramel,
like a real one.
Not these like mini fun size bullshit ones.
No. And they call those fun size. Those aren't fun size.
The thing is too, they don't taste as good. I think they intentionally make them less quality than the regular ones, because if you bite in, no, I'm not even kidding. Like if you bite into like a regular Snickers bar, for example, 9 out of 10 times it's gonna actually taste better than a little fun sized ones. I think they just make those ones all shitty like, and then they just pass them into these little fun bags. That sounds weird. I mean,
really bad.
I don't mean like that, but you know, whatever. And it's like, but I think it just means I think Twixt and Twixt just means the same thing. I don't know.
I just had this weird thing because like fun bags is like, you know, obviously not a derogatory, but whatever you want to call it, a term for women's breasts. And now I'm thinking you said they're just throw them in their fun bags. Now I'm thinking that you're going to some really bad plastic surgeon to get a breast enhancement surgery.
I know, it sounds horrible. It really does.
What are your breast implants made out of? Like silicone? No.
Yeah, it's not good.
Mine are made out of Reese's peanut butter cups. No, so anywho, the movie. Here's the log line here, according to the Internet Movie Database. A struggling horror writer visiting a small town on a book tour gets caught up in a murder mystery involving a young girl. That night, in a dream, he is approached by a mysterious young ghost named V.
Yep.
Guess that kind of works.
The
film stars the late great Val Kilmer as Hall Baltimore, the late great Bruce Dern as Sheriff Bobby LaGrange.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's late great. Now I was just feeling bad. I was like, did Bruce Dern die or not?
Okay.
I don't want to make him dead if he's not.
Yeah.
Now I got to look it up really quick. Pretty sure he is, but no, he's still alive. Wow. Damn it. Bruce Dern's still alive. I was thinking of somebody else, I guess, that passed away, but
yeah.
Sorry, Bruce, if you happen to be listening to this episode. He's Sheriff Bobby LaGrange. We've got Elle Fanning as V, Ben Chaplin as Poe, or Edgar Allan Poe. We got Joanne Whalley as Denise, the wife of Hall Baltimore. And trivia here, just off the bat, with that is Joanne Whalley is currently at the time when they filmed this movie, she was the ex-wife of Val Kilmer.
Okay.
So she was playing his wife, but they had already been divorced, and they were still friends, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, you've got David Paymer as Sam, Anthony Fusco as Pastor Alan Floyd. You got Alden Ehrenreich as Flamingo. People might know Alden as Han Solo in Solo.
Okay.
Yeah. Got Bruce Miro Chilio as Deputy Arbus. And then you've got Don Novello as Melvin. Don Novello, by the way, was a writer for years on Saturday Night Live. Also played the character Father Guido Sarducci. So yeah, it was kind of interesting to see him in a role other than Father Guido Sarducci. Yeah. I don't know if you know that character from Saturday Night Live.
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, it was like in the 70s and then back again in the 90s, and he's come back from time to time. But he's a funny priest as the character. He's it's one of my favorite characters. Don Novello is hilarious. So anyways, yeah, he was the clock guy in this movie. So so what are your initial reactions to Betwixt?
I don't really know. It was okay. I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like really riveted by it too much. It was, I don't know. I would just say it's okay. It's just like my verdict.
I just finished watching it like an hour ago, so I need the time to digest it, but I enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
Okay.
And it's kind of like reminds me of some weird ideas I had for films when I was younger. It reminds me in a weird way of like a student film, but with a bigger budget and longer.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, and it makes sense because this film was basically made for Francis Ford Coppola and nobody else. Like it's a very personal film to him, based upon a dream he had, and
it's
also
like his own dream that he had basically into a movie.
Yeah, and it's and one of the other things is that his in the 80s, his son died in a boating accident. And he never really forgave himself for not going on that boating trip with his son.
Oh, okay.
And this film was kind of, according to Val Kilmer, like Coppola's way of dealing with the trauma that he had in his life for decades.
Yeah. Okay.
So I kind of respect the film on that aspect. I mean, you can say what you want about Francis Ford Coppola. He's not always the greatest person in the world from what I've heard, but still, it's just like the movie was inspired by his dream, and it's a very personal film, and you can feel that when you watch it, but it's like, it's still kind of a disjointed mess, but it's interesting. I mean, it's like hard to put your finger on it. I liked it, but I understand why people don't like it too, you know? So yeah. Anyways, what happens in this film, if you can try to tell us a little bit?
I mean, yeah, it is meant to be disjointed, so it's okay to jump around. Yeah, he's just this dude, Hall Baltimore. He's trying to sell his book in some really small town. Doesn't even have a bookshop, so he's got to sell it in the hardware store. Creepy sheriff dude's really into his book.
Yeah, it's like
immediately. What's it?
Yeah, the sheriff even calls him basically like the dollar store Stephen King or something. So it's like
it's like a pretty insulting.
Yeah,
where it immediately wants him to collab on his own book that he's been writing. That's a pretty like that's some balls on someone. Like, you just meet someone for the first time and you immediately just pitch your own book and you're like, hey, do you want to help write this movie?
Like, what the fuck?
Like, what? And then he's like, yeah, sure. So it's like
eventually, yeah. I think it's mainly because the thing is he's like one of these guys that's known for writing books about witches, and he's kind of like pigeonholed in that, and he kind of wants to get out of that. So yeah,
I mean, he's all witched out. I mean, he can't really, can't write about anything, because he's got no more ideas, and so
he can no longer tell which way is up and which way is down.
Yeah, you get it. And then so he drinks a lot, like a writer does, or a lot of writers do, and he ends up falling asleep and gets into this sort of dream world where he's just kind of like chilling out, walking, and then this girl like sort of just like pops up out of nowhere, and she's like, you can tell she's like a ghost just the way she looks. She's just kind of just saying that she likes his books, big fan of his, and he's kind of like, hey, why don't I just go, buy you a soda? I got a daughter, around your age or whatever. Hint, hint, foreshadow. And she's like, no, I don't really think it's a good idea. And he's like, why not? It's just right up here in the hotel. And she just disappears on. And then this woman was like, oh, come on in. And he's like, what happened to that little girl? I was like, what little girl? There's no one there, silly. He's like, okay. And then like some dude's like trying to fix the clock through the clock tower, I guess. It really does actually feel like a dream. Yeah, where there's a lot of stuff that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense that's going on, and then like when you leave the area, none of the people are there anymore, kind of like in a dream where you just walk away. And then
it really does remind me of a lot of dreams I've had in my life, and I remember a lot of my dreams. Like, a lot of people some people never remember a dream, or some people don't even dream. So yeah,
that's really sad. I love my dreams. I haven't remembered any. Well, actually, no, I do remember one last night, but I think it's because I was taking the cough medicine. It's got that. It's got some chemical in it that helps you sleep, but it also gives you vivid dreams. A lot of times, dreams don't even there's really not a whole lot going on in the dreams, but they're vivid nonetheless. So it's kind of a weird thing. But I remember it was at it was like at our old college that we went to, and I had another dream once about our same college on the same chemical. Both things have to do with either going really, really far up an elevator or really, really, really far down an elevator. And so this time I was going like 100 floors down, and it really, really freaked me out. And I I was really, really uncomfortable. I didn't really want to go in there. And there was some other dude with me, and he was just like, I don't know, he was just like a student or something like that. And then we were just talking for a minute. And then, the elevator went down, and we went to pry it open because it didn't really open all the way. And then he just disappeared. It was like, okay, are you there? And I was like looking around. I was like, I'm going to go back up because I don't really feel comfortable here. So like, you want to come on up? That's fine, but I'm going to push the button. There's nothing there. So like, all right. So I pushed the button, went back up to like the first floor. And then I was like, I didn't want to tell anyone about him disappearing for some reason. Like I thought I would get in trouble. So like, I just didn't mention anything about what happened. I mean, nothing bad happened as far as I know. There was he didn't scream. There's, nothing there. There's no signs of, him being kidnapped or, violence, made against him or anything. But anyway, yeah. So those dreamscapes where it's just like people just disappear out of because he leaves the hotel and suddenly there's a bunch of kids that just start running out of the motel, like who weren't there before,
And one thing too, they talk about like earlier at a coffee shop, he actually had gone to the police station and was offered to see this dead body, his face.
Oh, right.
But he refused to see the face of the girl that was dead. But at the coffee shop, he later learns that like one of the local claims to fame is that hotel, Edgar Allan Poe once stayed there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's like their big thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and he goes to, like you said, he went to sleep and he meets this young girl, and she's like, her name is Virginia, but people call her, she goes by V.
Yeah.
But she was also nicknamed Vampira because she has buck teeth and braces, and people made fun of her teeth and called her a vampire, basically. So yeah.
Did that kind of fades into more stuff going on with the story as well. Vampires are prevalent because the sheriff, he wants to call his book The Vampire Executions, and how someone had actually invented a actual vampire execution machine, kind of like an electric chair, but for vampires. So you put the stake, the wooden stake through their hearts or whatever. And he made a model of that, which is creepy, and a Barbie doll inside the thing. That guy was creepy, man. That Bobby looked great. I did not like him.
I love Bruce Dern though as an actor, but still, it's interesting. The thing I find interesting about staking a vampire, I guess maybe, is this supposed to be a more humane way to kill vampires or what?
I think just a more surefire way of doing it. Basically, I think just like napping
just think about it. You have to get this vampire strapped down to the chair.
I know, it's
basically that energy that you wasted doing that. You could have just
I don't know. That's probably the only way you could come up with the story. So he had to come up with the weird. And by the way, too, the body has like a stake through it as well. That's weird. My whole thing with these kind of movies, like with Inception as well, is how do we know that the whole thing's not a dream? Even the wake part. You know what I mean?
It's like, who knows? And I mean, I would love to see a movie like I think I don't know if this movie was going for that, but it never really went through, where the dream part was the part you thought was the dream was actually reality, and then vice versa. Like the part you thought was reality was actually the dream. I'd love to see that happen. But he meets V, and he's then he runs into the he goes into that place and meets the weird people in the motel or whatever. So it's like this movie's weird. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to remember what happened, and
it jumps all over the place. You don't really have to worry about continuity, because
one of the main things going on here too is that like his wife is like FaceTiming him on the computer or whatever, or zooming in or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what was going on in 2011 to allow. I don't know what technology we had back then, because I don't remember what we had yesterday. His wife's calling him, and like they need money and stuff, so he's trying to persuade him to try to get an advance from his publisher on his next book. And so he like basically is he's gonna try to write this vampire book because he needs the money, but he also wants to write something more kind of personal, I guess.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I think a lot of this is like I said, this is kind of a metaphor for what actually Francis Ford Coppola, probably could have, made another Godfather or something. Not that he, he's making a movie where it's something more personal to himself when he made this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's like basically, kind of a bitch to him on the computer or whatever. And he's not really nice to her either. But so it seems like, why are they married?
Which is funny because,
but it does understand. You do find out, that they lost their daughter in this boating accident, and it kind of understand, because a lot of times when you lose somebody in your family, it kind of breaks up your relationship.
Yeah,
because the kid might have been keeping you together.
Yeah, if you're not careful. Yeah, exactly. And like we do see like little hints throughout the movie, like where he's at the Chickering Hotel in his dreamscape, and shows up by the window and just draws the letter V in the fog. And by the way, his publishers always telling him not to mention fog anymore because he overuses the phrase fog in the water. And so she's writing it in fog or steam. But then the lady who runs the hotel is like, "I got you, little devil." But then she bites her arm because she's a vampire. Oh no. And so then he went to go follow her, and then she just like showed up literally like in the water, was just like, "Help me," like just all ghostly, like no emotion. So she played a really good ghost because like she doesn't really show any emotion as Virginia, except like laughed a little bit when she talked about his book that she liked or whatever. But like
I really think Elle Fanning is one of the better actors of this like current crop of actors out there. And I mean, for being the younger sister of a actress too, because Dakota Fanning's her sister and whatnot. So it's like, it's kind of interesting, like where I think she's surpassed her sister when it comes to talent and stuff in a way. I mean, no, I don't know, harm to, I was trying to think of the word. No offense. That's the word I was looking for. I was like, what the fuck am I, my brain just farted.
It's all right. No offense. Dakota. I mean, come on, Madam Web though was the best movie of our century. So
what's that?
Madam Web,
Dakota. No, you're thinking of Dakota Johnson.
Oh, it's Dakota Johnson. Okay.
Yeah, Dakota Fanning is like the little girl from like I Am Sam and stuff like that.
Oh, did she do anything else recently?
Yeah, she's still acting.
Okay,
but yeah. Dakota Johnson is another is from another family of actors. She's the one from her dad is Don Johnson, and her mom, I believe, is Melanie Griffith. So it's like
it's right, the Nepo family or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Dakota's still acting too, but no, but like Elle Fanning like was last year in the Bob Dylan biopic, and she was amazing in that. And there's like, she's just got that, but she's really good at playing like a ghost sort of character, because she's got that kind of like everything's in her face sort of thing when she acts, like where it's just kind of, it's not like over the top. It's just very subtle, and it's so good.
Yeah, totally. And so like Edgar Allan Poe's like kind of like helping him out in this journey.
Yeah.
And at one point he even sits down with them and just kind of tells them like how to write the story, basically, like what kind of tone you want and all these other, I mean, I'm not a professional writer, so I write, but I don't really write based on, I'm just a chaotic person. I just write or I do things my own way is basically what it is. Because like if I get bogged down on like how I'm supposed to write, then I end up focusing more on that than like the actual writing.
Yeah.
So I have to do things my own way, which is basically working backwards back to the beginning, which is weird because he actually mentions that in the movie as well.
And that that little speech there is basically I guess based on it's from some writings that Poe actually did, talking about his writing process. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
He looks like him too, the actor.
Ben Chaplin did he looked a lot like him. They did the makeup and everything and made him look just like him. So it's interesting. I mean, I went through every teenager who goes through their goth phase goes through their Poe phase. So
Poe phase. Yeah, they're
there were other like little nods to Poe's writing throughout this whole thing too, and like at one point, because we're jumping all over, they're telling the story of how, because there's 12 orphans that are part of this like church or whatever that there's this priest at, and they're all killed. We find out by the priest, and the priest, I guess, was trying to like sexually assault V and stuff like that too. But at one point he takes V, and this is in the dream state, so who knows if this story's true or if what's going on, you know. He tries to brick her into a wall.
Yeah, like that one story.
Which is like a Casca Amontillado, which is my favorite Poe story, period. Which I'm still, for years, I've been working on an adaptation of that story, modern adaptation. So, but that was kind of interesting when I saw that. I was like, oh, a Casca Amontillado. So,
yeah, that's my first thought. I don't know if I thought for a second he was trying to sexually assault her, but then afterwards, I don't really know if that's what he was actually trying to do, because his whole thing was that he thought that he didn't want the kids to be like cursed with being vampires or whatever, so he wanted their soul to be pure. And I think she was the one that tried to get out, so he was just trying to grab her for it, but it came off as sexual harassment, so it's hard to say. Yeah, that's what I'm saying at the very first time, but then once the scene expanded, it seemed like he was just trying to grab her to, so that she'd be one of the kids, to have to be killed to save their. Because there's a whole thing, too, about these vampires that supposedly live on the other side of the lake. There's really not much to them. There's really, they don't really...
And their, like, leader is a guy named Flamingo, played by Alden Ehrenreich, and it's just, like,
And they don't really do much. They don't show up much, like... At point, Val Kilmer's, Hall shows up on their little island, and then the sheriff follows them and accuses him of, like, trying to, like, I don't know, not share his story with them or something like that. Or, again... very dreamlike, where a lot of stuff does not make any sense. Like where someone's mad at you in the dream and you don't really know what you did, or something like that. And like you can't really defend yourself sometimes in the dream. Like when someone's accusing you of something, you just like don't even have like a response because there's really nothing to respond to, basically. So like, we only get like a few scenes with these so-called vampires that just kind of, they don't even do anything. They just chill out on their own little island. Like there's really, they don't really
more this like idea that, it's kind of a play on the satanic panic sort of thing where, people just assume kids having fun are evil or something, Yeah.
And if anything, Flamingo actually tries to save Virginia's life. He does at first, because he's running away from the priest, and he kind of could sense what's happening. So I guess he has like kind of some kind of like supernatural, abilities himself. So he gets on his motorcycle and takes her, and he bites her on the neck to turn her into a vampire. But she seems like doesn't bother her too much or whatever. But then the pastor showed up when she was sleeping in her tent, and then took her back, and that's when he did the whole brick laying thing. Then he hung himself after that or whatever. Really weird stuff going on there.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm reading the what happened in the version we didn't see.
That's right, because this is not the original cut. This is like a special.
And there's something interesting too. What Coppola wanted to do was tour this movie around the country and do what he called live editing.
Oh, okay.
Where he would basically let the audience choose the way the story went.
Oh, that does seem pretty cool.
Yeah, but because there wasn't like the money to be able to do that, so they had to do a locked edit of it, based on some early ideas. So that kind of, I think, contributed to a little bit too of the disjointedness of the movie too. So but like in the original here, it's saying that because like basically the way this ends, we there's not a lot really going on here, but it's like we have in the dream, Edgar Allan Poe is like talking about how he was haunted by the death of his wife, who was also his first cousin. But that's her name was Virginia as well. That's interesting. Like I remember, because I went into this Poe phase. So his wife, Virginia Eliza Clem Poe, she married him when she was 13 and he was 27.
Oh boy.
And she died at the age of 24. She contracted tuberculosis. So
shit. Yeah, that's not good.
It was an interesting. I remember listening to a whole podcast about Poe once too recently, and they didn't grow up as cousins together and stuff, and then met later, but still, she was 13. But, but then again, this was the 1800s, but still, that doesn't excuse it. So
it doesn't, but at the same time, it's like this. People's ideas of things were just so different back then. And again, too, like the first cousins, especially second cousins, there really isn't like much evidence that like any kind of like birth defects. I mean, I'm not like out here like saying like it's a good thing, but it'd be like, especially if you don't know the person, like you never met them. It's not like you have this familial ties. That's usually the main thing that kind of puts people off of it. They're like, I'm not, no, like, you know what I mean? Like, no way, like, I'm not doing it right.
I mean, I doubt he'll ever listen to this, but my one cousin, I'm not going to say his name or anything, actually at one point was married to his like second cousin.
Okay.
I think, if I remember correctly, I'm trying to remember when I was kids, but it was like from the other side of his family. But yeah, not my side. But yeah, so kind of weird. I remember when I found that out, I was like, that's so weird. But I was like a little kid at the time. So, but yeah, Virginia was 13 and Poe was 27. But
and so was the character of the movie's 12. The Virginia character in the movie. I mean, so that's kind of a similar thing.
And then the fact that she's named V, and so we basically find out at the end, you know, like his he has to come, you know, Poe helps him come to the realization that he's working through his emotions about his daughter dying in this boating accident where he was too drunk to go with her. She invited him to come, and he thought that like if he would have been there, maybe the accident wouldn't have happened. And that's exactly what happened with Coppola. I don't know if he was drunk, but whatever it was, his son invited him to come hang out with him and his friends on a boat, and then there was an accident and he died. The one thing too that's interesting, this movie, concurrently while it was being made, there was a documentary being shot by Coppola's granddaughter, who is the daughter of his son that died in that boating accident. So that's just kind of interesting. She's also she's a not well known, but she's a filmmaker now too.
That's cool.
Yeah, because his son's name is Giancarlo Coppola.
Yeah.
And so his Gia Coppola was actually born after her dad died. So so there's that going on too. But she's directed the movies Palo Alto, which came out in 2013, Mainstream, which came out in 2020, and The Last Showgirl that came out last year. So
okay, cool.
So
it might be two clocks. Maybe because like the devil was in the clock, and the clock tower has 7. So he mentions too about saying something that he set his alarm, but I guess he said it had the wrong spot or something like that he could have gone on the trip or something like that. He said something about arm clock, and so maybe that's why the whole thing with the clock was a big deal. And I totally forgot about that because so much weird shit happens. It's hard to keep up.
This is one of those movies you could probably watch again and again and find different things in, but you know, if you wanted to. I don't know, you know, I don't know if I'm going to, but you know, so it's like it's a good movie, but it's not entertaining enough to make me want to watch it over and over again.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, basically he has to come to the terms that what he's going through is this, as he's writing this book, is basically his way of cathartically going through, and his dreams too, is cathartically going through the loss of his daughter and his guilt that he feels about it. And I like the fact that this version of the movie kind of ends there.
Yeah.
Because we don't see what happened afterwards. We don't know if he wrote this book and became popular or anything. But the original version, so he's working through his emotions, and he writes a story where V survives the priest's assaults and is rescued by Flamingo.
Oh.
Yeah, Hall wakes up in his room to find that Bobby has left, the sheriff, and he goes to the sheriff's office only to find that the deputy has been murdered and that Bobby has hanged himself.
Oh, no.
Leaving a note that says guilty. So I'm assuming that means that Bobby killed the girl, or not the girl, but or something like because I don't know if the girl was actually V or if that happened a long time ago or what was, you know, it's hard to tell because it was in the dreams.
Well, the thing is, that makes sense because when they were playing with the Ouija board and they said, who killed you? And then, you know, the morgue, and then it said B. And then afterwards he was like trying to move the thing around because he didn't want to be, because his name is Bobby LaGrange.
Yeah.
And so That probably was meant to be. Yeah.
See, at first I thought the B was maybe meaning Baltimore because Hall Baltimore, but then I was like, wait, yeah, it probably means Bobby. But we never got to that. So I kind of like that we didn't though. But so basically, I guess in this movie, though, we do find out that Hall goes down to the morgue to look at the murder victim's face, only to discover that it's V's body and that she had been impaled with a stake.
Yeah.
And then Hall removes the stake from her chest, at which point V awakens and attacks him with a new set of elongated fangs, which we see in the movie, but edited in differently.
Yeah.
So, but then the screen cuts later then to Hall's publisher, Sam Malkin, setting down a new manuscript and telling Hall that he loves the story, and playing everything from his first dream sequence up to this point has been the manuscript itself, meaning that like the whole movie was just the book. Mm-hmm. So and sees a whole new series as a series ahead for Hall that'll make him more popular than ever. Post film, the text then reveals that the series was moderately popular and Bobby's murder was never solved, and that Flamingo was never seen or heard from again. So I don't know what all that means, but yeah. So that's the two different versions of the story. I like the open ending better because I'm a big fan of open endings.
Yeah,
because life never has a bow tied at the end or riding off into the sunset, you know?
Yeah.
Because like a story is only good based upon where you decide to end it. So,
and that's what Edgar Allan Poe told him too about the ending. Work your way back from the ending. Mm-hmm. I hate her as a person, but J.K. Rowling actually began with the ending of the Harry Potter series and then worked her way back.
A lot of people do that. Like, I mean, I do that. I mean, because like I write a lot of short stories and films like that will never be made or may be made depending on if you guys want to give me money. I start at the end. I start at the end a lot of times, but there are times where I just start writing and I don't know where it's going to end. Because there's a good thing to be said for that too, where you just write and then you organize it later. But yeah. And the whole movie, for some odd reason, I kept repeating in my head the Counting Crows lyric from Mrs. Potter's Lullaby, which is, if dreams are like movies, the memories are films about ghosts, which is my favorite lyric of any song ever. So, yeah. So, yeah. Anyways, any other thoughts here about this movie?
No, not really.
All right. I don't have anything else to say either. Folks, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Hope you continue to listen to us and realize we're real and we're not a dream.
No.
And if you could, go to all2real2.com and check out all of our links there. We have a TeePublic where you can buy some merchandise. We also have a Patreon where you can help sponsor the show and help us continue to bring you this good quality entertainment. Also, share the show with your friends on social media or wherever you want. If you want to print up a flyer and post it in a coffee shop or in a clock tower or I don't know, an orphanage, wherever you want to put it, go ahead. Also, be good to each other, folks. There's a lot of shit going on in the world. Trans lives are human lives. No human is illegal. Fuck ICE. Free Palestine. Be different, be yourself. Remember that I love you. Don't marry your 13-year-old cousin.
No. Good advice.
Yes, just in general.
Shouldn't need to be advice, but it's good advice.
Yeah, just saying, don't do it. Sesame loves you. And until next time, bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All Too Real 2 podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.